Folks, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the 2026 North Dakota Teacher of the Year and a middle school teacher from Mayville, Portland, Clifford, Galesburg, or Mayport GC, or CG, now, whatever. Anyway, she teaches up there, and it's a good thing she does. Her work is grounded in a simple but powerful idea: strong relationships are at the heart of great teaching. In her classroom, she helps students take ownership of their learning, think critically, and grow with confidence. Frannie is also a mentor to future educators, a leader in rural professional development, and is currently pursuing her doctorate degree at the University of North Dakota, studying how teachers make meaningful decisions in complex classrooms. Whether she's supporting students, guiding fellow teachers, or strengthening her community, Frannie is helping shape with what great education looks like in North Dakota. Please join me now in bringing to the stage Frannie Tunseth.
Hello, goodness gracious. All right, well, I want to first start with just thanking you, President Archuleta, for giving me the opportunity to speak today, because I have some thoughts, friends. And so we're going to have an honest conversation. I also want to thank the North Dakota United staff. They have came to my room more times than my administrations have been in my room this year to really help amplify the great things that are going on across our state. And so thank you so much. To start us off, though, I'm going to ask us all to do something. I want us all to close our eyes for a moment. Oh gosh, some great listeners in the crowd. All right, I want you to picture your favorite teacher. You know the one I'm talking about. The teacher that changed something fundamental for you. The one who made school feel different, that made you feel seen. I want you to see them in your mind and think about the way they made you feel. Maybe they were the ones that helped you believe that you were capable when you felt small. Maybe they were the ones that noticed you on a day when you felt invisible to everyone else. Maybe they were the one that refused to give up on you even when you had already given up on yourself. Now hold on to that moment. Hold on to that feeling. Because that feeling is not just a memory. That feeling, that is impact. It is transformation, and it is the magic of this profession. Now, on the count of 3, I want you to open your eyes and say their name into the room. 1, 2, 3. You guys, that's the power of this profession. That is the magic of this profession. I think it is also evidence of the impact that we make each and every single day. And I think it's also the reason that we are here today, because we need to protect it. So as I was introduced, my name is Frannie Tunseth. I am the 2026 North Dakota Teacher of the Year. I'm also a very proud member of North Dakota United. And I'm so thankful to gather here this morning to be a part of what we are. We are pre-K through 12 educators, we are ESPs, we are higher education faculty and staff, we are public employees, and we are retirees who continue to shape this profession every single day. We are the people that make the magic happen. But right now, we're going to be honest. That magic is kind of under strain, right? And it's not because educators have changed, it's because our conditions have changed. And I want to show you what that looks like. I want to tell you about a student named Madeline. Madeline has never been in my classroom, but I claim her as my student. She comes in and checks in my class every day at 3:04 after she's checked in where she's supposed to be. And she stopped in the other day. And she shared something that was really heartbreaking. She said, "Hey, Mrs. Tunseth, I was going to the different classes and thinking about what I want to do one day. And I decided to go into another second grade classroom because I thought maybe I should be a teacher." And my face must have gotten really excited because she said, "Don't do that with your face." I know. And she said, because they told me, don't do it. I would never go back into education. Now, I can see your faces are kind of loud like mine probably was, because I was heartbroken. I was devastated that this brilliant young lady who belongs to the school in every sense of the world, who shows up, who is inviting, who is encouraging, who would be the type of educator that would make a difference, was told to not enter it. And you guys, That message should stop us, because when a student like that hears that message, it is a warning. And that signal doesn't come from anywhere. It comes from something that I think a lot of us recognize, because there are moments in this profession that don't look like inspiration. They look like compliance documents that are stuck next to our lesson plans. They look like systems that require proof of professionalism from people who demonstrate it every single day. And it looks like exhaustion so deep that even the work that we love starts to feel like something we're not sure if we can sustain. And that is not personal failure. That is a condition of the profession. And it's not isolated, because you guys, this is what we are facing right now. In some of the newest information that's coming out, 2 out of 3 educators have thought about leaving in the last 3 years. Think about that. Like, look to your left right now. Do it. Okay, now look to your right. Statistically, we are sitting next to people who have wondered if they can continue in this profession that needs them. And that, my friends, is not about individual resiliency. That is about collective conditions. And collective conditions requires that we need to do something about it. Because when the conditions start to shift, something else happens too. Our connections start to break. And I think this is where we need to name something very clearly. Because it is not a story of burnout. I think it's a story of fragmentation. And fragmentation is what happens when systems begin to drift away from the people and the voices that are doing the work. Fragmentation is what happens when decisions feel distant from classrooms. It's what happens when professional voices feel delayed, they feel filtered, they feel disconnection from action. And many of us have felt that way. I know I have. Anybody else? Yeah. You know, you guys, we reach out, we bring our classroom reality forward, and too often we wait. And when that connection breaks, something else shifts. Not just whether we are heard, but maybe if we even begin to be or belong to be in the conversation at all. And I think that is the risk of fragmentation. But you guys, fragmentation isn't permanent. It's a signal. It's a signal that the work ahead is not individual, it is collective. Because no single educator can fix this alone, but today as North Dakota delegates, our collective voice can become strong enough to reconnect what has been pulled apart. And I think that requires us to hold 2 truths at the same time. Number 1, there are educators who feel unheard, unseen, and overwhelmed by a system that does not reflect their expertise. There are also leaders and legislators and community members who are trying to listen and build better systems alongside of us. We've had the opportunity to hear from some of them today. Both are true. And our job is not to choose between both of them, but to connect them. Because when we don't, there's consequences. Because when educators feel disconnected from the systems meant to support them, they don't just feel unheard, they start to leave. And that's not always done loudly, it's often done quietly. And that is how I think that this entire system has become like a recruitment issue, right? We ask these questions, how do we get more people into education? But you guys, oh golly, we can't recruit our way out of a profession that is losing people faster than we can bring them in. So the question has to shift, not how do we fill vacancies, but how do we protect the people that are making the magic happen every single day? And I think that that answer is not individual endurance. It is about the collective advocacy that we have. It is about professional voice being organized and amplified. It is about educators standing together to insist that our expertise be trusted, that it be supported, and that it be sustained. Because we're not without allies. But allies only matter when they're connected to us. And connection requires presence, it requires voice, and it requires an action. And I think this is why sometimes the language we use don't work. We often say we want a seat at the table, right? Give us the seat, let us be there. But you guys, as I was thinking about this speech, I was like, gosh darn it, we don't need to talk about a seat at the table because we are the table. right? We do not need permission to be included. We do not need to wait for a place to be seated for us, because we, this delegate assembly, we are the table. We are the collective voices of North Dakota United that determines whether this profession is sustainable. And if 2 out of 3 educators are honestly considering leaving, the urgency could not be any clearer. There's no one coming to fix this for us. It's up to us. It's gonna take us. It's gonna take us together. Naming what is real, protecting what matters, and advocating with one voice for the profession that we believe in. Because when we elevate educators, we're actually just elevating students. And when we protect this profession, we are protecting the future, so that every child who will ever sit into a classroom has a name to whisper one day. And so that students like Madeline, who are thinking about this profession, are welcomed into it with open eyes and a collective, we need you here. So, as I close, if we are the table, then the question is not whether we belong. The question is, who is missing? The magic is still here, you guys. It's never left, but it doesn't sustain itself. And it's our responsibility together to protect the conditions that allow it to exist, because collective conditions do not change on their own. They change through collective action. And so I'm going to challenge you. It starts with something really simple. I want you right now to think of one person that you can identify. Maybe it's a colleague who's getting quieter. Maybe it's an educator who's pulling back. Maybe it's a voice that's not yet on the table. I want you to bring them with you. Because if we don't, people are going to start to leave quietly. I want you to think back to the beginning, to that name that you whispered in the room. Oftentimes those people are why we're here. They're why this work matters. And you guys, we're those people now. And the question in front of us is this: will there be enough of us so that future children have names to whisper in rooms like this? That magic, that's what we're protecting today. And it's not just a profession, it's a legacy. Thank you, guys.
And that's why she's the Teacher of the Year. Thank you very, very much. Very inspiring. Appreciate every minute of that.